Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman The Dark Knight Returns Batman action figure. This guy's part of the Collect to Build a Horse wave. Get all 4 figures, and you can build the horse that Batman rode in The Dark Knight Returns. I've been looking forward to this wave for a long time. The Dark Knight Returns is a pivotal story in Batman history. Put him back on the map, made him dark. This is the first time we've gotten a true, full 7-inch version of Batman for The Dark Knight Returns. DC Direct, Mattel, Mezco, and Mafex have all made Dark Knight Returns figures. I'm hoping this one's going to be the best. We'll find out shortly. I pre-ordered my figure from Amazon.com. It ended up being delayed, but here it is today. I've been finding these guys at Target stores quite a bit, but absolutely no Targets around here had the painted Batman. I saw the unpainted Platinum Chase Batman 5 different times. Pretty odd situation. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman, Collect to Build a Horse. This is the third of 4 figures to build the horse. Here he's in the package. Looks like he has 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. Looks like the tail and the front legs of the horse. A collector's card, display stand, and a Batarang with bat rope attached. One side of the package, Batman from Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Other side simply says Batman. The bottom got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back side, here's Batman posed up on the horse. Here's the parts of the horse you get with this figure, instructions how to build the horse, and the rest of the Dark Knight Returns wave. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting 2 of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch Batman related unopened action figure collection. And here's the standard painted version of Batman, next to the artist proof unpainted Platinum Chase variant of Batman. Here's the entire wave of McFarlane's Batman The Dark Knight Returns action figures unopened. Still trying to find the Platinum Chase variant, the unpainted Robin. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with a display stand, a collector's card, 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a Batarang with a rope attached, and he also has 2 of the horse's legs and the horse's tail. But before I take a look at those accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. It was a 4-issue miniseries that became a groundbreaking graphic novel. It's written by Frank Miller. So let's take a look at him. They did a great job sort of capturing that ugly art from The Dark Knight Returns. Batman's looking mean, very stylized, exaggerated, very big, bulky, a bruiser type Batman. Very angry. Very short-eared cowl, the angry expression. You can see his mouth sort of opened up and see the teeth back there. Some wrinkles on his brow. The sculpt is fantastic on this guy. The giant oversized bat symbol. Even the wrinkles in his suit just screams The Dark Knight Returns. They did a great job sculpting this guy. Very large pouches on the utility belt. Looks fantastic. Looks like single-jointed elbows, double-jointed knees, a lot of wrinkles on the different parts of the suit, boots with a nice V-cut at the top, the cape sort of folded over on top of itself. I like the way it looks, sort of natural, hanging there, not going from one side or to the other. Overall, I'm very pleased with what I'm looking at. Very nice looking Batman figure. It's about time McFarlane did some older Batman comics. And just a closer look at his head or face sculpt. They really captured the aesthetic of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. That angry, exaggerated Batman. It's kind of ugly, but spot on to the source material. And here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. And just a quick thought on this Batman. I mean, he's big, his proportions are good, but I feel like he's just not big enough. This Batman was giant in the comics. And if you look at this Batman compared to some of the other McFarlane figures, it just feels like he might benefit from being a little bit bigger. I mean, take him next to the Three Jokers Batman, and I realize McFarlane's lines are not necessarily consistent with each other. But I feel like the Dark Knight Returns Batman should be one of the biggest ones they've made. And I do realize the Three Jokers Batman is kind of a giant, bigger than a lot of the other Batman figures. But if there any one of them should be a giant, it should be this Dark Knight Returns Batman. And when I said McFarlane's lines are not necessarily consistent with one another, it's almost like DC Direct used to do. The Batman 3 Jokers waves kind of by itself. The Dark Knight Returns stuff's going to fit in with itself, but not necessarily with everything else. I'm not picky at all. I'm cool with the way they all fit in together, but I know a lot of people are really picky about 0.1 or 0.2 inch discrepancies. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. Says DC at the bottom. He's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin. Very basic. Now let's take a look at the build-a-horse pieces. The two front legs and the horse's tail. So each leg looks pretty cool. You can see they differentiate which is the right leg and which is the left leg. Got the hoof down here. Got a ball joint there. Single jointed knee, as well as rotation up here. Then we have the tail, pretty heavy, sort of rubbery material, nice sculpting detail. Gonna plug in with this peg here. And once you complete the entire wave, here's the horse fully assembled. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Dark Knight Returns Batman holding his bat rope on a rooftop of Gotham City. Batman from Batman the Dark Knight Returns. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's his collector's card, next to the Platinum Chase variant, the unpainted artist-proof version's collector's card. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 4 of them. 2 gripping hands, and 2 fisted hands. Here he is, with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is, with his other pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. Here's his Batarang attached with a bat rope. Kind of basic type of Batman gadget. This book was made in the 80s. He was a little bit less technology savvy. The Batarang with a rope attached. He can hold this part here, where it's sort of wrapped up. Pretty cool traditional bat accessory. Here's this black bat rope, next to the unpainted gray version. Here's Batman, holding his bat rope. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 7.0 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that much. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes up more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area. Increase the range of motion. No bicep cut. Single jointed elbow. Goes in about that far. It does have rotation to offset the missing bicep cut. His wrist has a ball in it. It can rotate. And it's going to be hinged as well. In his torso here, he's got a ball joint. Can rotate around, go forward and back just a little bit. Then his waist is another ball joint. You get a little more range of motion there. Can rotate around, go forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion in his torso. Not as much as some of the McFarlane figures, though. His legs go out about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is pretty decent. Legs go forward about that much, really not too much there, and back about that far. He's got a thigh cut. Most McFarlane figures do not have that. Double jointed knees go back about that far. Then his ankle here, it's got a ball in it. Forward and back. Can rotate, can tilt, rock, and he has toe articulation. Here's Batman in that iconic pose, in the dump, getting ready to fight the mutant leader. and then actually get into a fight with the mutant leader. They're a pretty even match. Here's Robin Dawn watching from the sidelines. Here's my attempt to recreate that pose with Batman and Robin gliding through the air. Here's Batman on a rooftop of Gotham, getting ready to use his bat rope. Then, here's Batman taking on Bruno in a ruined building. And now, here's Batman chasing after Joker in the Tunnel of Love. The Joker has a young woman prisoner. Here's Batman riding on the Build-A-Figure horse. They look fantastic together. And here's Robin peeking out behind Batman. And here's Batman riding on the horse with an army of the sons of Batman following behind him. Some are on horseback, some are on foot. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's the regular version of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, next to the Platinum Chase unpainted variant. And here's Batman with the Carrie Kelly Robin. Every Batman needs his Robin. Here's the entire collective build a horse Batman the Dark Knight Returns wave. Still trying to get an unpainted Platinum Chase variant of Robin. I don't think it's going to be that hard in the long run though. And let's not forget that McFarlane already kicked off the Dark Knight Returns collection last year with the Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman, and they released the Blue Edition this year. There is a third variation upcoming in the Superman vs. Armored Batman 2-pack. Here's the Dark Knight Returns Batman, next to several other Batman figures. These are all based off the comics. Then, next to several more Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media, and don't worry, we'll check them out with a bunch of other Batman figures as this video progresses. Now let's check them out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Superboy Prime and the light-up hazmat suit Batman. And here he is, next to a couple of Lobo figures. Then, next to the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn and the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker. And here he is, next to the recently released Batman 3 Joker's wave. This 3 Joker's Batman is a little bit too big next to the Dark Knight Returns Batman. And now, next to the Year 2 Batman. The Year 2 Batman uses the same body as the 3 Joker's Batman. Here's Batman next to all 3 different variations of McFarlane's Swamp Thing Mega figure. Then, next to the Batman Who Laughs and Robin Crow's 4-pack. And now, next to the Gotham Knights 4 playable characters. And here's this Batman next to McFarlane's entire The Batman collection. Then, next to the Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth Comics, and Speed Force Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here he is, next to Bruce Wayne and Tim Fox from DC's Future State. Then, next to the Rebirth Batman and General Zod. And here he is, next to Batman Beyond's Unmasked Batwoman and Blight, the Atomic Edition. And finally, here's the Dark Knight Returns Batman, next to the entire Justice League Endless Winter collective build of Frost King wave. Now let's check him out, next to some other Dark Knight Returns Batman figures in his regular suit. Here he is, with 4 different DC Direct Dark Knight Returns Batman figures. One came in a single release, one came in a 2-pack, one came in a 4-pack, one came in a 75th anniversary 4-pack. There is still one other one I don't have. That one came in a 2-pack with the Joker, and it has the utility belt on his thigh. And here he is, next to a DC Collectibles Dark Knight Returns Batman from the new Batman Adventures. Then, next to several different Mezco 112 Collective The Dark Knight Returns Batman figures. There are 2 of them that I'm missing, and they're pretty much unobtainable to get. One is a black and white version, and one is a Puerto Rico Comic-Con exclusive version. Here he is, next to some Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman figures. And finally, next to some Mattel Dark Knight Returns Batman figures. Here's Batman, next to a custom Bruno and a couple of her soldiers. Here's Batman, next to my entire group of mutant gang members. Then, next to an army of the Sons of Batman gang members. And here's the rest of my Dark Knight Returns collection. We've got a whole bunch of different Batman and Robin figures. Here's the newest one in the middle. Above that, we've got the mutant leader and the mutant gang. And above that, the Sons of Batman. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work my way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we've already checked him out, next to a whole bunch of different McFarlane Batman figures, here he is with some other McFarlane figures. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures. And here, next to some NECA Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 collective Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex Batman figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is an absolutely fantastic figure. The sculpt and paint job are excellent. Everything from the utility belt pouches to the wrinkles on the suit, the angry face, it all screams Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. His accessories are pretty good. The grapnel hook with the bat rope. His articulation is nice. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give it a very solid 8.5 out of 10. They really did a good job of capturing the likeness on his face and his body type. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.